Hello YouTube people. I have a box here from ExactRail with some awesome, highly anticipated Bulkhead flat cars. Let's go to the workbench and take a look. Okay, so here's what we're looking at today. This is an HO scale Trenton Works 67-foot 11-inch bulkhead flat car. This is from ExactRail, and it's decorated and the as-delivered scheme from the year 2000. I'm going to do something I never do on product spotlights. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to show you how it comes in the box. The reason I'm doing this is because this is almost exactly how every single model you'll ever see comes. That's HO scale like this. And I'm doing this to show you that it doesn't show you anything or serve any positive purpose to show it coming out of the box. Look, there's a top plastic thing, there's a bottom plastic thing, and look at this, it has the plastic film, just like every other HO scale model you get. It also came with a couple other pieces that fell out while I was opening the box. So let's take a look at those real quick. Right, so here are the other pieces that it came with. These are the ends for the bulkheads, because the model itself isn't quite finished, and I'll show you how to put those on in a minute. And these are the directions for putting on the ends. So let's do that next. So the first thing is to cut these off very carefully, and I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife for that. So I'm using a toothpick to apply some Canopy Glue directly to the stiles like it says to. Just like that. And the trick, I think, is that you don't want to use too much, because you don't want it squashing out, because you'll be able to see it from the back side if you're not careful. And you don't want to be able to see glue from anywhere if you can help it. So I got just a little bit too much over here. I'll wipe that off. So the idea is, take your time and do it right. You don't want to put too much. The nice thing about Canopy Glue is that it dries clear. So even if you have a little too much and it does squash out, you really would have to look to notice that it's there. So once you've got the glue on like so, take the bulkhead end. Remember that the chamfered pieces, that's these little rounded ends here, go on the top. It's just that simple. So now that the bulkhead wood is installed, I want to talk about the model overall. These are from ExactRail, as I mentioned earlier, and HO scale, obviously, because this is a product spotlight and not N scale Friday. And they're very, very nice cars. They come in 3 different paint schemes. There's the 2000 as delivered, which is what we're looking at now. Then there's the 2004 as delivered, which I'll show you in a minute. And then there's the new logo patch. And these cars are listed on ExactRail's website for $59.99, but at the time of this video recording, they're $49.99. All 3 of these come with the wooden pieces that you have to install yourself on the bulkhead ends. And we're going to take a look at all of them. Once we go through this one very carefully, I'll show you the other 2 more briefly. So let's get started. All right, so looking at the paint here, we always start off with the paint. And I have to tell you, after scrutinizing this with my magnifying visor with the ultimate magnification, I found that the paint is perfect. And all of this writing, even the tiniest writing on this model, like this little stuff over here, everything's legible. You have to magnify it a lot, but you can read everything on there, which is pretty cool because that's really small markings. Looking from this angle, you can see that the ladder is a separately applied piece, very fine, thin piece. The stirrup also is exceptionally thin. There's a cut lever here. These end ladders, the full ladder on this side and the short ladder on the other side, both are separately applied. they look like metal pieces. I'm not sure that they're metal. The brake wheel also is separately applied. There's brake chain detail that goes down to the bottom. The crossover platform or brake platform here is a metal etched piece. And you can also see from this angle that there's a air hose down here. And that's a Kadee 156 scale coupler. So this has probably everything you'd want to add to it if it didn't come with it, straight out of the box. Looking at the brake end from this side shows more of that detail. And this is what I was talking about. You see how you can see the basswood from this side also? And if I had applied too much glue to the bulkhead styles, you would see it squashing out, you know, like in here. So that's why you have to be careful and not putting too much glue on the bulkhead styles. But just look at the detail on this thing. It's pretty amazing. All this stuff, and I also noticed this really thin wire grab that goes all the way across. That's cool. Looking at the other side here, there's nothing really different. Just, you know, more of this really fine printing that's legible. And, you know, these are very familiar markings, especially the TTX mark. You see those on all kinds of stuff. And then the A end has similar detail to what the B end has, with separately applied ladders, the photo etched crossover, 156 whisker scale coupler, Kadee, right? The cut lever is a really fine piece. I think it's probably, it looks to me like it's made with some kind of a wire, but it may just be super ultra thin plastic. Whatever it is, it looks really good. And of course, you know, the separately applied ladders, and just, this is why I really look forward to ExactRail cars. This detailing is really finely rendered and looks to scale. We'll take a look at the bottom now. And I think I'll mention these are 100-ton ASF ride control trucks. And these are CNC machined metal wheel sets. And you can see the 156 couplers here. You can also see the narrow style draft box. And if you look carefully, you can see that it has nut and bolt detail. So this is a very detailed draft box. And then, of course, all these little brake components are separately applied parts. And a lot of this is visible as it rolls down the track, so it's worth having that. It's just a really amazing job by ExactRail with this thing. And I wanted to show this shot because you can see that the end caps are blue. Can you see that? They're painted blue, and then the wheels, those are 36-inch scale metal wheels, and they're blackened, so you don't have to worry about them looking toy-like, being all reflective and stuff. This is pretty cool. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, so we're taking a quick look now at the 2004 as delivered, and really it's just a carbon copy of the other one, except for one thing. Well, two things. See right in here, there's a little label that was added to the prototype warning people not to weld to the floor. Do not weld to floor. And there's another one over here on this sill over here. That's really the only difference. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much the same as the one we just looked at. So let's take a look at the third one. Okay, and finally we're going to look at the last one, which is the TTPX new logo patch version of this model. And what they're talking about is this, the TTX is on a yellow patch. Now, something else I've noticed about this particular model, and I don't know if you can tell under the lights here, but it seems like the yellow is more vibrant, the color that they painted it in. And that may just be because this represents sort of a newer version of the car. Something about the yellow patch down here that they mention on the website is that the earliest they've found evidence of these patches having been done is 2012. I think these are really, really amazing models. I kind of alluded to it during the spotlighting process that I always look forward to releases from ExactRail, and you just saw why. The level of details and the amount of details that they add to these things straight from the factory is just mind-blowing. It's amazing how detailed they're able to make these things. And you know, I realize that $50 is kind of in the upper level of what people expect to pay for plastic models like this, but you have to remember, if you were to have to purchase and apply all the different details that they've added to these things at the factory, it would probably cost you more than that, especially when you consider the amount of time that it would take. So I've just got to say, I am really amazed. ExactRail, awesome job, and I can't wait to see more from you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.